Well, it seems that the digital divide is real and it's getting wider all the time. So what's being done from space to help bridge the gap? You know, having a computer or a smartphone, it's something that most of us just take for granted. High-speed internet, well, we just about can't live without it, right? But it may surprise you that tens of millions of people in the U.S., many of whom live in rural or underserved communities, don't have access to the kind of basic technology that we rely on to communicate each and every day. And that can lead to many social and economic challenges. So, delving a little deeper, we have a very special guest to find out what's going on. STEVEN Mesnnick, he's the general manager of U.S. Broadband Viasat Incorporated. It's a global communications company. Welcome, STEVEN.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Mark.
In a nutshell, what does it mean when we talk about digital inequality or the digital divide?
So to put it real simply, there are about 42 million Americans who do not have access to high-speed broadband. That's, tens of millions of households, 42 million people who can't do the most basic essentials now that really are critical to, life, which is communicating with loved ones, being able to do schoolwork, right, being able to do your job remotely. So this digital divide, and it really impacts, I'd say, lower income folks, persons with disabilities, the elderly, more so than other members of society. So really it's such a difficult problem, but I think there are great solutions to help bridging this digital divide, and that's what Viasat's interested in doing.
Well, when you consider today, the influx of work from home positions that seem to be mushrooming all the time, and the pandemic teaching us a new way to have to work, communicate, and do things, you're right on the ball, because there must be an awful lot of people that are missing out. So being responsible for the company's fixed broadband services in the U.S., and this includes Viasat's residential and business internet service, how can high-speed satellite internet open the door to new opportunities for people in the rural and unserved communities, other than the obvious, Stephen?
Yeah, so what's really happened, it's interesting, is that traditional internet service providers, the Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, Charter, Cox, right, what they do is they put either cable or fiber down in your neighborhood, but they choose to only do so in areas where they think they can get a, call it, return on their investment, right? They put money in the ground. They need a certain number of households to sign up. Viasat does something very different, right? Which is we invest in a satellite. We launch that satellite into space. It goes about 22,000 miles up into the air. And then it doesn't matter where you choose to live, right? As long as you can see the sky, you can get access to internet. And why that's so important is it gives people choice. You can choose where you want to live and not say, I can only live where I have high-speed internet because I can only do my job or my kids can do their homework. So it really opens up the ability for people to choose, where they live. And with the pandemic and many people choosing not to live in dense urban areas anymore, it's such a great freedom to allow people to kind of pick and choose where they want to raise their family.
Yeah, I mean, it opens up a whole plethora of opportunities, doesn't it? I mean, for those who would love to live on top of a mountain, miles from everybody else, still do great work. And what about the medical side of things now, too? Surely, with the home health situations, with doctors speaking to patients, instead of them driving thousands of miles, I mean, this must be a massive asset.
Telemedicine is something that I think the pandemic really pushed forward, right? I had never visited with my doctor prior to, the pandemic beginning. And then it became, even if I just wanted simply to do a COVID test, right? I would normally have to go and talk to my doctor first, and they would want to do it for safety of the people in the doctor's office, as well as myself. They would do these, I'll call them interviews, sometimes remotely, right? And so telemedicine's really picked up because they realize that if you can allow people who normally who have a difficulty getting transportation, they can't drive, they might not have a vehicle, right, to be able to visit with their doctor and talk to them and only go in for more critical items, you can really expand the quality of healthcare for many people. And that's one of the things that high-speed internet really brings to homes, as long as education and healthcare, I'd say, are the two most critical uses of high-speed internet in some of these as underserved and more rural areas.
Mm-hmm. Well, as the general manager of the U.S. broadband business at Viasat, can you share with us then some of the other areas, perhaps, Stephen, that Viasat is doing to help close overall the digital gap?
Yeah, so it's not just an issue in the United States where I focus much of my time, but there are many countries throughout the world who have much less broadband access than here in the United States, and people just can't afford it as well. So a couple of things we are doing. One is we're doing the same kind of things, putting satellites up into space, accessible by folks in Mexico, Brazil, Africa, Europe. So, it's not just an America problem. However, in the United States, we're also partnering with the government. They're now beginning to realize it's such a critical issue, this digital divide, that they are allocating billions of dollars in called subsidies for people who can't afford the price for service. So there's the Affordable Connectivity Program, which basically is this. If you go to the government website, the Affordable Connectivity website, you can apply for a $30 per month discount or $75 if you live on tribal lands. And you can use that discount to help pay for your internet service. So Viasat has new plans, our choice plans, starting at $49.99 a month with a $30 discount, right? You're now starting at $19.99 per month for internet, and that's 25 megabits per second, which is just enough speed to do many of the things we talked about: telemedicine, education, even social activities. So we're partnering with the government to make internet service not only available, but more affordable.
Wow, that's fantastic of Viasat. Affordable connectivity. I'd never heard about it until right now. So you're really helping a lot of poor countries then as well.
Yeah, it's something that we believe at Viasat that everyone deserves to be connected. It's become such a critical part of life that we want to make it so that everyone can not only live where they want, can afford the service, because it really is empowering our children, the future, right? And we always say now that when you're looking for a home or a place to live, right, you need electricity, you need water, right? And now we think that broadband has become almost as important as those two other services.
Folks, while Stephen was at Verizon Wireless, he designed and actually launched the wireless industry's first data sharing plans, revolutionizing the pricing model for voice, messaging, and data services. And that led to record-setting customer acquisitions and revenue growth. That experience that you did there, I guess it's really holding up for you now with Viasat, Stephen.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I was at a wonderful company, Verizon, who has, like I said, a different model for how they choose where to deploy broadband. But what I love about Viasat is I wake up in the morning knowing that the work that we're doing to get people connected is life-changing, right? I give you this example where, there are pharmacies in hopefully not in the United States, but in other countries where the pharmacist doesn't necessarily know the prescription for a child's medication. And without connectivity, when someone comes in to get that, it's as simple as they don't have access to be able to look up what quantity a prescription should have, right? Those are some of the most basic things. And when you can provide connectivity where that pharmacist can talk to a doctor and talk to a patient, it really does change people's lives. And that's what kind of just makes me so excited about the work that Viasat is doing.
Wow, that's just one example, and that's fabulous. I mean, we're talking literally saving lives, It might be well, it's not over-dramatizing because that's what's happening.
That is the truth.
It's terrific, So, folks, if you want to study a bit more and learn a bit more about this, we recommend you go to this site, www.viasat, Viasat, one word, Viasat.com. Okay, www.viasat.com. A lot of good stuff on that site to read about, right, Stephen?
Yes, and some people choose actually to talk to if they want to order service, they like to talk to an actual person, and we still allow you to do that as well.
Thank
So you can call 833 number 5 Viasat. So 833-5 Viasat, Viasat.
Okay, 833-5 Viasat. Oh, that's refreshing, too, from a company to actually speak to somebody live. Wow. Mm-hmm. You're doing a fabulous job. Mm-hmm. Keep up the good work. STEVEN Mesnnick, General Manager of the U.S. Broadband Business leading the field in wonderful work, Viasat Incorporated, okay? You can call them direct, 833-5-VIASAT. Go to the website, firstly, www.viasat.com. Thanks, Stephen. Have a wonderful week and keep it up.
Great. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay, goodbye.